have never gotten there is because we don't understand the relationship of our problem, where the real roots of it are. You know what? I'm just generally fearful, but really it comes down to a loss that you experienced, very young in your life, and you didn't even know it, right? It's just like, I'm anxious about stuff. I have some anxiety, or maybe, you're generally just ornery. I've been in a bad mood for the past 30 years, but you don't realize actually it was a brain injury. And with these exercises that we do are neurological exercises that change your neurological patterns and your belief structure, away from unproductive to productive.
Yeah. So all of that probably doesn't sound like a whole lot of fun. What really happens is you shift reality. And that's what we want to talk about today. I mean, all of the how, you guys, if you've been with Cognomovement, you sort of know this. But the fun part is that your life becomes completely different. And what we want to talk about today is the things that are hidden, that you don't know. You can't figure out why you can't shift things, because the limitation is actually a secret even from you. So before Bill got on, I asked some of you, if you've been to Cogno Conscious before and you shifted your reality, would you raise your hand, and if you're willing to share your story?
Oh, we got Coral.
All right, Coral, open your mic and go for it.
Yeah, so I went to Cogno Conscious as a facilitator, or not a facilitator, but an assistant. And so I didn't go through the process this last time. I went years ago. But what happened to me this time, just even being in the energy of 22 people hitting love at the same time and being in that state, the time I had gone and actually attended myself, which was 2 years ago, I think, we hit that. And then when I came back home, I couldn't get there. I couldn't go, you know what I mean? Like I'd have glimpses, but it wasn't like, it was like, oh, I kind of felt like I couldn't have that experience anymore. This time, it's like I won't put up with not having it. So it's not that I'm there all the time, like, woo, but I know now that love is where I want to be. And so anything that I work on that is in the resistance, what people will call negative, but I call it resistance, I know I'm just going to make that into love, because love is accepting of it. Love is being in that place. And when I'm in that place, what is transpiring in my life now is my business is moving forward even faster. My relationships are even deeper. My understanding of myself and my creativity is far reaching. And so it was very subtle, and I didn't even go through the exercise. I went through the journey with everyone just vicariously because I was there. But because we were in that state, it has affected me still to this day. So, and continues.
Yeah, that's actually a big deal. Like the first time that Bill and I did Cogno Conscious, we had no idea that as the facilitators, we would be affected. And it is true. You're in the energy of everybody moving up a scale. Like we are rapidly changing consciousness, which just means we're changing our awareness, what we can actually see. And that's what we're talking about today is, Corey, you probably couldn't even see what was stopping you from reaching that, right? And now you know what the feeling is, what the sensation is that blocks you, right?
Yeah. And it's just a complete perspective shift. Like it's how I look at it, as opposed to trying to obtain something. It's letting something come out, as opposed to before it was trying to obtain it. So it's a complete reality shift, reality shift. So I have lots of stories, but I mean, that's just the foundation of what has changed for me and the epiphanies that came from that. I mean, there's many, so.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, Carl. So Julie's here with us, and Julie, I don't know if you're able to at least open your mic, and would you be willing to share what shifted for you about housing, about your house, because you are living a new reality. Are you with us, Julie?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hi.
I'm not turning my camera on because I'm working on my other
That's fine.
computer. So yeah, wow, it's really mind-changing. And if Coral doesn't mind, I say so. I'm in Cedar City, Utah right now. I did shift my entire living situation. I am totally free. And I've been a digital nomad since I've been to Cogno Conscious. And I just feel so much happier and so free. The things that were holding me down in life. And I am about to leave Utah on Saturday, heading to Big Bear, that cabin that I always wanted in the woods. And I did rent a cabin in the woods in Big Bear. It is a rental, but you never know, things could happen. And in this particular cabin, in my vision, I had done a meditation, and in my mind's eye, I could see, remember the booth seating and the pine paneling on the walls? So this cabin has that booth seating, even with the 60s retro chair. So that's going to be my art space for drawing. And it has a few other things, and this bear theme is part of that whole thing. And this same bear picture that was in the last VRBO that I was in Wyoming, that same bear picture is on the wall in the bedrooms in this cabin rental. So it's just all these little synchronicities. And the person I met who's renting it wasn't even on the market. I just called him out of the blue. And so it just worked out. Like there was no struggle.
Wow. 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 Would you share with everybody how many times had you moved and you wanted when you came?
Cogno, I was moved around like a shell game when I was a child. And so that pattern of moving, and so being able to break those patterns and be free of that and just make choices.
Yeah. You know what is so amazing to me about your story, Julie, is I remember you talking about in the beginning, you were trying to buy a house and it just wasn't working.
Mhm.
And you kept saying, oh, I want a place, a permanent place. And what did you discover what did you actually end up with? This is the interesting part to me, you guys.
I ended up selling off everything I own fits in my Forerunner, and I'm traveling around and I'm absolutely loving it.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. So this is so typical. We go and we keep thinking we want one thing, we want it, but we can't see the hidden reason we want it or what stops us. And so in Julie's case, which is really common, she literally wanted the exact opposite, the freedom, and that's what the life she's living. So congrats, Julie. I just can't wait to hear what happens next.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing your story. Bill, we have another story, and I don't think she's with us today, but one of our friends contacted us a while after Cogno Conscious, the last time she attended, and she had gotten a dream house as well in Florida. Do you remember this story?
Oh my gosh. Well, this one is really cool. There was one of the people who attended Cogno Conscious. It's kind of funny. It's kind of a theme of houses at the moment, but was living in Arizona and wanted to live on the ocean. That was the big thing, is to have an oceanfront house or condo or whatever. And it was absolutely impossible. It was the impossible dream. Kind of going along with some health issues. Well, not only did the health issues go away, but was able, like, all of a sudden, it went from the impossible dream to I can do this, to her selling the house in Arizona and finding an absolute epic condo in Florida that was views for days. Absolutely, just this 5-star kind of arrangement right on the ocean. And anyway, living kind of the life of her dreams. But it all became possible. And not only possible, but there was enough energy there to actually do it. This is amazing, but it's not really limited to just like, oh, housing. I mean, a house is good, but there was another story that I really love is one of the attendees had hated their work so much. This person was in finance, right? And they were up kind of the executive suite type of thing in finance, and had to do a lot of traveling. And I love this story because she would call her husband every week, and like on the way to the airport, it was like, have we won the lottery? I just want to check because I don't want to get on the plane. And they said, well, no, didn't win yet, and off she goes to another part of the world, and kind of agonizing for decades. And anyway, she comes to Cogno Conscious, and unbelievable shift. And the unbelievable shift, but I just love the story because she says that now, absolutely thrilled to get on the plane. And the perspective? The perspective is, I get to go see my friends. We're going to go out and we're going to laugh and we're going to have fun. And I have to do a little bit of business in there, but actually in those meetings, I get to see these people. I get to see my friends. So anyway, talk about a quality of life change. Imagine that, going from hating every day to, it's like, when you were maybe in college or high school or elementary school. Does anybody remember those times when, you got to see all your friends in kindergarten? It was like, oh my God, I can see her, And so it's a total shift. And that is all really wonderful quality of life. Liz, you got so many stories.
Yeah, I got so many.
Too many.
You've got too many. I want to get into our session, but I just have one more thing I want to share that happens. So lots of weird things happen at Cogno Conscious. I mean, one time it looked like we opened a portal. It really was just massive energy that starts to flow. That was day 4, 2 Cogno Consciouses ago. It started day 2, where a lot of people could start to see this energy that flows in the room. It looks like blue static. It's kind of amazing. People started to feel it. And on day 2, weird stuff started to happen. People started seeing auras. Now, that's not part of it. We're not coaching people to have psychic abilities. What naturally happens is your energy is raised, your awareness, your ability to see. That's just it. Your blinders are off, and people start to see new things, have new perspectives. People see energy and auras, and healing ability really kicks on. 2 of our attendees this time on the way home, either on the plane or in the airport, healed someone. And they couldn't have been more shocked that they did it. And it was just kind of a very natural, easy thing. And again, we're not teaching that. That just happens. People have these abilities, but there are things that limit them that they don't know. Julie posted that she got a phone call in the middle of the night from people who are not living with an amazing, amazing message. That, I mean, one of the coolest stories we've ever heard. So these are kind of some of the things that happen. And they're incredibly exciting for all of us who attend. But later on, a lot of times people don't even remember because their life is just new. It's just a new reality. You can do things you couldn't do before. You have things you didn't have before. You are a new human. So, okay. Alex says we need to hear that story. Julie, are you willing? Are you willing to tell the phone call story?
Yep, I can tell the story.
Okay. All right. Please do.
So this was the second to last night of Cogno? Is it the third night?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I woke up at 2 a.m. because I heard the phone ringing, and it wasn't the landline hotel phone. It was just a regular phone. And it kept ringing and ringing, and I could only hear it in my left ear. And I finally said hello. And it was my parents calling me, and my parents are on the other side. And my dad and mom were standing there clear as a bell. And my dad said, Julie, just go have some fun. And it kept me awake the rest of the night. And I looked around the hotel, like, did that just happen?
Remember, they also gave you a message of something that happened that day too. Do you remember what it was? About the car ride.
Oh, yeah. They said, so my Uber ride didn't show up, and Liz gave me a ride to the hotel that night. And my dad said, tell that really nice lady, thank you for giving you a ride, so you're safe.
Oh my gosh, that was the best. That's just the best story. Thanks for sharing it, Julie.
Sure.
All right, you guys, please share in the chat if you have used Cognition your reality or session, so everybody don't keep you for. So we really are talking about becoming limitless. What does that mean? And what does shifting reality mean? Because it can sound really woo-woo and like a big claim. Hey, Leah, could you highlight me if you will? But what we're talking about is the things that stop you. So when you can discover what limits you, and then you can clear away that limitation, remove the block, you become more and more limitless. But the problem is that you don't see your limitations. We have a hard time seeing what they are. What we think we see is our reality. So that's why it becomes reality shifting. When you are able to devise a way that will show you to know when you're limited. So most of the time we don't know we're limited. We just know that we want a thing, or we want to do a thing, or we think we want to do a thing, and we can't. Or we feel stuck, or we see people in our way blocking us, or we feel just like we don't have the energy, courage, education, smarts to do it. So that's what it seems like, is that we just it's just not happening. We're not moving forward. But there's always something stopping us. And when we can find it, the limitation, we become more and more limitless. So this is one of my favorite Cognomovement things to do, is notice my own discomfort. So what do we mean by that? I mean, I got to get something done today, and that thing I'm going to get done is going to lead me towards something really big that we want to change, maybe in our business, maybe in our life, maybe personal life. And I noticed that I don't have that forward momentum. I don't have that drive to get in there and do the thing, and I don't have the ideas to do the thing, and I don't know how, and I'm certain that everyone's in my way. I notice, oh, I have like all my reasons. And also I feel uncomfortable. I just feel uncomfortable in my current life. Now, discomfort is something different for every person. For me, it'll often feel like tension in my chest and my belly. For other people, you'll feel pressure on your head. For other people, I just feel irritated. I always think of it, it's like one of these things. Can you see my hands? It's one of these, bring it on and stop all at the same time. So there's tension in it for me. So what I'll do is notice my own discomfort, whatever it is. Now, for some of you, it's actually pain. You will start to get pain. Like when you're blocked, maybe sciatica kicks up. Maybe it's a frozen shoulder for you. Maybe it's migraine headaches. I know that was one for Julie as well. It's different for everyone. It feels different for everyone, but the recognition of what is stopping you is the recognition of the driver. And then you can find a way out of it. All right, so let's get into this today. What is something that you want to know, be, have, or do? Just write it down. The first thing that came to mind. Don't think about it. Something just popped in your brain. Self, very, very quickly, your top 5, where I live, right? Anything, your top 5, very, very quickly, just jot them down, one word. So it's just the things that off the top of your head you perceive are the reasons you can't or won't or don't or shouldn't. That's a big one. Take them, just be gently aware of what's the overall feeling. Now, for some of you, that might be real physical. It's a place in your body for all 5. Like for me, I always feel it in my solar plexus and my throat. Notice for you, where's that kind of tension around that thing? For others, it might seem like an emotion. I immediately feel maybe anxious, sad, fearful. And look at all 5 and notice if the sensation is similar. No, we're going to use whatever this perception that you have about this thing, the thing that signifies, I'm just not moving forward and my body is giving me a reaction. Now, it may just be, you may perceive it as a constant thought. I can't do it because, so-and-so's in my way. Sometimes for you, is it that there's this immediate thought that comes. Notice if it's similar in all 5 of those. So give us a hand raise or a yes in the chat if you have found something that feels very similar about your why or your perception of how you're not moving forward. What does it feel like? Is it all the same? Does it have a theme? Give us a raise of your hand if you can do it in the chat, or a yes. A raise of the hand on your screen, or a yes. Good. I'm having a hard time seeing people, Lee, so can you help me with this? Good. So I've just got one. Tell me if you guys are taking a little bit of time or if you don't understand the question. Good, there's a couple yeses. I don't understand. So Astaris, you're looking for the thing that you want to do, and then just noticing, what does it feel like? Your top 5 reasons that you just list quickly. Your top 5 reasons of why you don't, or you can't, or you shouldn't. And then just notice if there's a general feeling, a general theme around them. Sometimes it's in the body. Sometimes it's in your mind, a thought that keeps coming. Look for just what's similar about all of these reasons, the things that are limited, the reasons you can't go forward, your border, your boundary maybe. Just take note of what's the sensation? What are you experiencing? Maybe that's a better way to put it. Tell me if that clears it up for you. Good energy. Good energy is what stops you, Dove, or what moves you forward. Good. So this is interesting, right? Notice if you're struggling. This is great. If you are struggling with even this question, hold on to just that. Notice the struggle. Good. Shallow breathing. That's right, Yogi. Very good. That's one of those things. If you could get really good at perceiving these subtle things in your body, you can start the first step in discovering what limits you. Remember what I said? You don't really see your limitations. You just see the reality that I can't. Good, you guys. Tension in throat. Stomach feels hollow. Uncomfortable in the belly. Really good, you guys. That's it. Jaw locks. If you're one of the people that's struggling with this, kind of notice those. Do any of those match for you too? Good. You guys are doing so well. Excellent. Tension in throat. Feeling low. Yes. This is one of those things, just a general malaise. Sometimes I'll notice for myself, there's just an existential dread. I don't even know what it is. I'm like, God, I feel kind of like a dread. I don't even know what it is. But when I get into my session, what I often find is that I'm about to cross over into a whole new world. And my body's not sure if that's okay. I found a limitation, a boundary, a border. And what did we say? When you can find the limitation and you know how to remove it, you begin to become limitless. So for example, oh, hey, Yvonne. She said it took a while, but I just felt it. I didn't know Yvonne was with us. So one of the things I noticed one day as I was doing this is that I was fussing about, our practitioners. They are our world, our Cogno movement practitioners, and we support them and we help them thrive. And it's really on the top of our mind. They're our inner circle. And some of them were struggling a little bit with their, getting their businesses off the ground, and we were helping. And all of a sudden it occurred to me, I wonder if, as one of the heads of this, if I have a block and if I'm limiting people. So I thought, where is my limitation in this? And how could I be limiting anyone? And I did my session and I just asked the question to no one in particular. I'm feeling really a lot of tension in my body here. I'm feeling a little dread. Well, where's my limitation? And bing, 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 it occurred to me that if I was limited, I was limiting them too. And then I realized I had bought into the current financial situation, totally hidden from me. I didn't realize I was doing that. And then what happened next was I was able to clear that out and realize that there are a lot of people who don't mind this financial situation. They kind of make their own rules and do their own thing. So for me, it shifted all the way through, but I had to locate the limitation. When that happened, a number of our practitioners during that week said, oh my God, I'm busier than ever. I just got this call and that call and that call and this opportunity and that opportunity. So when we become limitless, those around us can become limitless too. All right. So everybody noticed. So I was having a haircut, had a strange stiffness in my forearms, and I had to remove that I had to consciously remove the tension. Yeah, this is what we're talking about. So that feeling that you found, that bit of tension, that bit of what feels like struggle. Let's begin. Bill's going to start our session of using that feeling and the thing that you want to discover what hidden limitation might be there for you. You ready, Bill?
Absolutely. So this is really fun, everybody. I know it doesn't seem like fun based upon how you're feeling at the moment, but I guarantee you, this is going to be so worth it for the rest of your life. This today can help you on your path. Now, some of you already have your Cognomovement ball. Some of you don't. For the ones of you who don't have your Cognomovement ball, I'd like you to utilize just a pen. I just need something external to you to pin your eyes on. Your eyes are going to be the key to finding the hidden thing that is out there for you. So related to moving forward. So I'm going to have you all that, what Liz just walked you through, that feeling, what you're going to do is stay in that feeling, wherever, if it's in your throat, your chest, wherever it is, allow yourself to feel that feeling. And what we're going to do is one of the very basic moves, and this is the infinity. So what you're going to do is like a figure eight on its side. I'm going to show you quickly. It's like this. It's like a figure eight on its side. And you're stretching your eyes through by following the ball. The head is straight and level and forward. If you don't again have it, it will be the pen just like this, except it's going to be very, very slow. We have to give a minute for your brain to respond. Ready? So put your, go ahead, Liz.
Just make sure, you guys, with this session, the key is you've got to let your eyes stretch. Make sure that the ball or the pen's not way out from you. If you're not stretching your eyes, you're not doing the work. We're sorting through files in your brain. So that part's important.
Okay. All right. So you put the ball on one shoulder. We got to keep the ball close, right? And keep your head straight and level. Feel how you feel. And begin to slowly, if you see here how slowly I'm moving, begin to slowly move your eyes. Just move the ball, track the ball. And you're going to find there's a place where the ball doesn't want to be. I mean, your eyes don't want to be. They feel like they're stretching. There's a blind spot. You can't pay attention. It feels itchy. It feels like maybe it feels like there's sand in my eyes. Whatever it be, park the ball there. And here, you can just simply ask the question, what is it? What is it right here? What is it right here that's limiting me on this? And a lot of times what will happen is it'll be something really juvenile. It'll be like, oh, that's ridiculous. But just make note of it. Just make note of it. Make a mental note. If you're a person that maybe needs to, you can put the ball down for a second and just write it down. That way, 1 or 2 words, just write it down. Oh, it's this. Just 2 words and then go back. And then we're going to move on to the next place. Your body is going to help to tell you. The theme here is, what is it that's limiting me? What is it that's in some way limiting me? Pay attention to that feeling that Liz had you tap into. And as you do, notice your body and notice whatever comes. A lot of times information will come in these areas that your eyes have difficulty being. Allow yourself to just be there. Take a few breaths. What is it right here that's limiting me? And then slowly move on. When you get something, put your ball down, make a note, just a few words to bring you back after this. The thoughts can be so very fleeting because you don't ordinarily get into this part of your brain. You don't ordinarily think of the issue and put your eyes where they don't want to be, in the area of your neurological resistance. Just allow it. Noticing whatever comes, even the things that are juvenile. I said, oh my gosh, I shouldn't feel this way, but it came up, write it down.
So Thomas asked, do I gaze forward and see the ball? No, Thomas, you're going to direct your eyes to the ball and let them stretch. You are in your periphery, but you're really stretching your eyes towards the ball. And also, don't try. There's no trying here. That's the wonderful part. Let the ball move through the files of your brain, just feeling how you feel. Let it rip. Let yourself feel everything that you feel about why you can't move forward with that thing that you want. The rule of Cognomovement is notice what you notice and feel what you feel as you move through your own visual reference. It's okay if nothing comes. Just notice how your body changes or not.
Stay in the
Breathe.
feeling.
Mhm.
Stay in the feeling, noticing in the body, and very slowly as you move, notice what comes up. I can't move forward. I'm blocked because, and it can be the most random thing. Don't ignore it. Write it down. Just make a quick note. You know, it's fun to stop wherever that random thought comes in and just park the ball there and ask why. Why is this? You know, you may get a random thought of some event in life you haven't thought of in decades. And you're like, what the heck does this have to do with my limitation? You know, I was out with my friends going to a soccer game or whatever. You know, it's like, what does that have to do with anything? Park the ball there and ask the question and notice what comes. Notice what comes. And when you get your answer, you move along. Just move along. Your eyes are a gift. The gift, the hidden gift that they have is they're going to be able to tell you where there's an issue because it's a little bit hard to look there. They don't feel quite right. Maybe the vision is a little blurred. Your breath can also be a great indicator. Notice, oh my gosh, I seem to hold my breath over here. Breathe and keep the eyes pinned there. See what comes. The breath is a bridge in between the conscious and subconscious. Beautiful. And just relax as the things come, whatever they might be. Write them down. Just a couple words.
Bill, on the next pass, can we pause for just a moment? Let everybody rest. So we've got just a couple of questions. So you may get a memory or a thought or a feeling or any of them. So this is the fun part. Just relax. I see some yawns. Good job, Brenda. That's things moving through your system. You may get a feeling and it's not an answer for you. That's perfectly fine. Just follow the sensation in your body. Notice what shifts and what changes. This is the beauty of Cognomovement. There's no trying. You're simply allowing your own system to take its own path. So as you rest, just notice if there's any impressions, write them down. If not, just stay with us. Be in the sensation that's happening now. So we'll reset. We'll start again. And notice if maybe your topic has changed. For some people that happens. Well, I wanted this, but now I'm thinking, I want that. Notice how your own system has shifted a little. Maybe it's more intense, the feeling of tension or frustration, or maybe it's less. Maybe you're on to a new story. Maybe you're into solutions. Whatever's happening, just let it be for now and continue. Actively relax your body on the next deep breath in. Relax. And begin.
Here we go. Very, very slowly Slower is better. When you go slow, very, very slowly, as slow as an ant will crawl, what happens is you give yourself a little bit of time to respond. Be there in that limiting feeling. Stop when you find the point where the eyes are in resistance in some way, or you get that feeling. What's right here? What's right here? If you get something, write it down. Breathing. And this is the last one. Noticing what's coming. Beautiful. And now write down anything that came. You've got yourself maybe a few items down there. Realizations.
Questions. Sometimes it's a new question, right?
Right. And what Liz is going to do is going to help us now with this great Cognomovement technique to help to get some new perspectives. Liz?
Okay, so somebody's asking, what if it intensifies and doesn't dissipate? The answer is, woo, yes, you have it on the run. Lots of times this does happen. It gets bigger. So in the next round, even though some of us will be in a phase where we're looking for solutions, wherever you are, let yourself feel exactly what you feel. This is another beautiful thing about Cognomovement. You get to feel it. You get to have it. You get to keep it if you want it. You feel what you feel. Don't make anything up. Just let yourself feel it. So those of you who feel more intensity, take a big deep breath in and literally drop down into it. Let yourself feel it as much as you do. And also at the same time, if it's possible, notice if you can be just a little curiosity about that. What is that exactly? All right, grab your ball or your pen and drop it down to your waist. And then just move your ball or pen left and right. So it looks just like this. If you can follow me for a second, just left and right, but just low. We're going to very quickly start to move up the body. And we're moving it about this pace. Tick, tock, and just breathe. Let yourself feel whatever it is you're feeling about that thing that you want and you just can't seem to get there. If you're in a place of, wait a minute, I want something else, be there too. Keep moving left and right, slowly up the body. It's important to move from low to high and notice. What is it now? And breathe. Big deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, right about the face now. At the eyes now, left and right, slow and breathe. Just letting yourself feel however you really do feel about this. Let the body tell the truth. All right. And now that we're at the top, we're going to simply do a tick-tock. Now, you want your chin to be down. Maybe put your finger on your chin. Let your chin drop down. You don't want to let your head and neck go like that. You want to let your chin drop. And then gently tick-tock above your head. Now, for some of you, your eyes are going to really stretch here because you haven't done this in a while. breathe. We're looking up through our own eyebrows, tick, tock, and feel. There's this thing I want. And begin to let the question move into your body, not your mind. What else is possible about this thing? Breathe. And what else might be possible about this thing that I choose? Breathe. Okay, pull whatever you're holding, your ball or your pen down, and just let your head rest and your eyes rest. And on a big deep breath in, actively release any tension in the body. And with your eyes in that closed position, just for a moment, bring to mind that thing, the original thing we started with. And simply notice what's the same and what's different. What's the same and what's different. That's all. Good. All right. On a big deep breath in, let's pull the ball or your pen, whatever you have, up over the head again. Make sure your chin's down and your eyes are up. We're in the part of your brain that speaks ideas and inspiration. Bring that thing to mind again. Letting your body feel however it feels now. Whatever's going on, let it be there if you're willing. And breathe. And let the thought come into your body. Now, what else is possible here? For me, and this thing I choose. Notice for you, some of you are getting a wry little grin. Breathe. Some of you, your body has just shifted. For some of you, there may be heat or cold. Just notice. And breathe. What else is possible here? Good. Tick-tock over your head. Wandering around in the ideas and inspiration part of your natural system. Breathe. And pull it down, pull, and let your head drop and your eyes rest. But this time, let your eyes be open and down. And bring back to mind and body that thing. What is that thing that you wanted a few minutes ago? What's the same now? Did you start to go into a strategy, any of you? I'll do this and then I'll do that. Did anybody's thing change entirely? Wait a minute, I don't want that. I actually want. Did anyone find, oh my gosh, there's the block. There's the thing. It's right there. Oh my goodness. For some people, it might even feel silly now. Good. All right, let's do one more for good measure. We're going to pull that up on a big deep breath in. And simply let your eyes stretch. For some of you, one side will be more stiff than the other. Just shows a part of your system that's not quite working as well as you want. You can work on that, but breathe. Very deeply in through the nose, out through the mouth, a little more aggressively. And let that ball or pen shift back and forth more quickly now. Chin down, eyes up. That thing out a little. Stuck. Notice it now. What else is possible? Breathe. Move the ball wider now, much wider. Possible here. That in the realm of all things possible, are there other choices, paths? And let your head drop and your eyes rest. And just notice state now. Wherever that tightness is, spend about 30 seconds and breathe. oftentimes that'll clear, or it's an indication of maybe you need a little more work in that zone. In this work, lots of things are normal. You may be burping, you may be yawning, you may have noticed that in part of your vision there was a real stretch or your eyes ached. It's all normal. It means that things are moving. If things are more intense for you now, congratulations, things are moving. The work is expansive. So throughout the day and even into the night, new ideas may pop in. New noticing about how easier or harder this thing is to think about. All of that's fantastic. It's shifting. It's moving. So if anybody wants to in the chat, post if you've had a little bit of shift. So somebody asked about health. Absolutely. Changing your health is a shift in reality. I'm a person who's done it personally. You can do that as well. There's always going to be some limitation that you can't see. And then when you clear it, the answer is right there. So easy. And you become limitless in that as well. Another question we have is very quickly. Let's see. When the eyes can't track, a lot of times that's a spot in your vision that you need to work on. It just means you have a block there in your system. The back and forth motion will relieve it if you stay there just a little bit longer. If the eyes can't track, Leah answered that. You just keep moving in that direction, back and forth, left and right, up and down, just a little. And how to work through an area of not wanting it or torn about it. Just stay in that. Stay in that question. Do I not want it? Am I torn about wanting it? So Pam, let it be exactly what it is. Go back on Facebook, Cognomovement later today, and do it again and allow yourself to be torn. Allow yourself to maybe not want it. The important thing with Cognomovement is let it be exactly what it is. Let your body tell you the truth. The secret is it's hidden in your nervous system. It's hidden in this thought feeling pattern. That's it. And when you can find it, you become limitless. All right. So Coral had deep insights as to why I want what I want. You want to share that, Coral? You're muted.
Oh,
Nope, you're muted again.
Muted. You're still muted, Coral.
Let me see if I can ask to unmute. There you go.
okay. So I will share. I currently rent an apartment, and I would like a house of my own. And as I went down, the first thing that came is I would be dividing up a household if I had a house of my own. And then it went to, it has to be mine to love it.
Ah,
And almost like you can't just love anything, like if it's an idea or a child or a house, if it's not yours. So there's that, which is not true. And it was weird because it had the essence of, ancestry type thing of of a child that like, I'm not going to take care of it because it's not mine. Not me, not in my life. But that is what came in. And so to me, that's a very deep insight as to why I would want it to be my own. And what came is that I can still have that, but of course you just love where you're at anyways, just start that. So there you go.
okay. This is exactly what happens. How weird is that? She wants a house of her own, but her body and mind went to not loving a child that's not yours. I mean, random, like no amount of therapy would have ever uncovered that, right? So these little impressions, you don't have to hold on to them. You don't have to create meaning around them, but you realize, oh, it's that and that feels like this. And now we have a way to become limitless around that area. So it'll be so interesting what happens next, Coral. And, you know, the thought that you love what you have, that's amazing too. Helpful in the moment, right? So Graciela says she feels lighter and ready to take the next step. Woo, Graciela. All right. Sue Ann says, stay in the question. This is it. Stay in the question. Stay in it. Let yourself feel what you feel. So Virginia says, understanding the source of my block. She sees new perspective, calmer, less fearful of the next steps. Wonderful. Yogi feels some blocks dissolving. Glenn, hey, Glenn. We have a number of our practitioners and practitioners in training here. Actually, practitioners, will you please put your information in the chat? Glenn's one of our practitioners in training.
Hi, Liz.
Hey, he experienced, you want to share what you experienced?
Sure. So mine was, my question was, why am I not more successful or achieving the level of success that I aspire to? And so when I started thinking about that, in my head, it was kind of jumbled up and a lot of interference stuff going on there. So as I did the exercises, I was looking to see if there, because I did some work on this before with Bill, and I was checking to see or any glicks as I was doing. Didn't notice any, but at the conclusion of the exercises, as I and a sense of connection to it, that from that, and so that was a shift for me.
That's excellent. All right.
Amazing. Isn't it interesting to kind of so your own mind and your own system up? Ding, ding, ding. There it shows. And sometimes it's really just a clearing of the sensation, because the truth of it is that's what's stopping you. We attach a reason, but the reason really isn't what's stopping us. It's this weird automated response in the body that feels like a block. We've had people come to Cogno Conscious, and also the truth is just Cognomovement sessions, where they come in 100% certain that there's a person in their life, a parent usually, that is blocking their life success, a trauma, a real, true, significant trauma. And then a minute later, it's as though that whole thing dissolved. It doesn't seem to matter anymore, because the truth is it doesn't. It's not happening now. It's the sensation of it that really stops us. Mm-hmm. But we have to go through sometimes the pathway of our own system to discover why we see only one reality. They're all there. They're all available, every last one. But we can't see it through our own limitation. Go ahead, Brenda.
Hi, everybody. Thank you. So I'm not sure if this has come up for anybody, but there's a fear about giving up my personality, because that's my ego's been my boundary, my protection. So I like, well, if I give that up, what am I? You know, it's scary. I mean, not only a small thing but just to give up, like, you know, the ego, my ego being my form of protection, my personality. I feel like what this is doing is it's breaking down that part of me, which is kind of scary.
So what's interesting is, and I could see Bill 1 second after started to comment. So what's interesting is in Cognomovement, which you will learn very soon, Brenda, we actually replace the ego a lot of times in the subconscious with the nervous system, because the ego is really just automated drivers that happen in our life based on stuff that we experienced. So we could say those are traumas. We could say childhood experience. We could say, you know, the things we watched or witnessed, but all of them created a driver, just a driver that creates a feeling that has us kind of going the same way again and again and again. So you're 100% right. As you clear these things, those ideas change radically. And you kind of become who you always were meant to be. So it can be a little scary. And my advice would be, let it be as scary as it is. Let it be, oh my God, what if I'm no longer this and let it move
it
through your
made me-
system.
It made me remember, I was reminded of that movie Elton with Elton John about his life. His friend said, give up the life you were born to be and live the life you want to be. I was like, that's crazy.
Right?
The life I was born to be, how do you give that up? I feel like I was born, so now this is making me venture into territory that's uncharted, very uncharted. And it's a little scary because, I think the walls are going to start breaking down. And then I'm going to have to question, who am I? It's crazy.
Go ahead, Bill. I can see you have something to say.
Oh, I just, congratulations.
Yeah.
And yes, it can be a little scary, but relax as much as possible into it. And there's this amazing, amazing love, joy, bliss, productivity, expansion, fun, right? For a lot of us, we kind of limit the type of fun that we're going to have and how much fun we'll have and the amount of good feeling that I can have and I can share. Imagine if I just let those walls start to break. As they break down, all of a sudden it's like, woohoo. So anyway, I know it's scary. It'll happen a little bit at a time, and I promise that it will be well worth it.
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah, I want to say congratulations too. Take it a little at a time, step by step, whatever feels comfortable for you. But here's what I promise you. In a short period of time, you'll be like, whoop, look what I can do. And you start to go on a journey like I did. So just fair warning, curse word coming. But I just don't put up with my own shit anymore. I'm like, oh, I'm uncomfortable about that. Oh, challenge accepted, right? Because now I know that I can change and I become more and more and more of myself, of who I really came here to be, which I didn't even know who that was when I started. But now I do. And now the things that are possible, really, truly, and I know this sounds gimmicky, but for myself, I realize there is no limit, only the ones that I have been trained to believe in. So I shift them and I change how I feel about it. And the next thing you know, ding, 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 I see a whole new reality. And then the next one and the next one and the next one. So start as slowly or as quickly as you want. There's no need to have it happen overnight unless you choose it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, let's take one more comment. We're keeping you guys after school, and Leah wants to share with you what she has available right now for you. So Cassandra, one of our practitioners.
Good morning, everybody.
Hey.
So good to see everybody's face. What I was working on and kind of have been working on is freedom from the past. So it's not a little get rid of chocolate business. So just interesting things happen to me. A lot of times it's like, I realize, just kind of digress a little bit. I'd gotten a chiropractic adjustment about a week ago. And then that evening when I went to take the dog for a walk, the leash was kind of slack. And then he just took off running, and it was like having a standing whiplash. And it was like on my neck and up. There's always kind of like this tightness in my neck. So it's kind of like, to me, it's like, you really need to look at this and really figure out. And so when we were doing Cognomovement now, it was like, oh, I could see little this and that or whatever, but just a stone wall with some kind of iron thing against my neck. This all ties together with the dog causing this. So it's like, I can't get away from this anymore. And different situations or feelings or things from the past. And it's like, then I just felt like it's kind of just rolling off my body or being lifted off my body. And so it's a cascade effect, and it's not going to just all go away or change immediately. And there's also different, like the sensation of fear as well. Who am I going to be if I let go of, I was a single parent. Well, not that I ever wasn't a single parent, but just the responsibility of that, and realizing I'm not a single parent. I don't have to have that yoke on me anymore because my children are grown with their own family. Anyway, it's very liberating, and it is a process, and it takes time. And I was listening to something the other day, and what stuck with me is this reservoir of possibility. And it's like, yes, Cognomovement allows you to tap into the reservoir of possibility for what is available to happen. And it's like, it's beyond your wildest imagination. You can like, okay, this or something better, just releasing it. And then I rarely remember what's going on in my dreams. Sometimes I think, but I had this thing, and it was like kind of stamped out. It was as if it was like, I don't know, in the sky or something. And it said along the lines of something like, regardless of what happens to you, it is the right thing that's happening to you. That just, if you can kind of embrace it, whether it's like something wonderful or something horrible, whatever, it's directing you to your own freedom of being or becoming. And so once again, the reservoir of possibility, and with Cognomovement, you can really, the sky is the limit, and just allow itself to unfold. And I'm a slow processor, so over time, more layers will come off. And I just want to encourage everybody to just go for it.
Thank you,
what?
Cassandra.
Go ahead, Bill. Sorry.
Oh, I just wanted to say thank you, Cassandra. That's just awesome. Thank you for that. And it's all true. And one other, since we have all of our a big part of the community here today, congratulations to Brenda, who just signed up to become a practitioner, Palm Springs area. Yeah. Yeah, I just heard. So we're very excited. She's another few months, out. She'll be available in the Palm Springs area, actually globally, right, through Zoom. So we're very excited to have her.
Okay, so I want to just say one thing, a follow-up thing with that Cassandra said. It really is true that you can only imagine, even dream, based on your limitations, right? So the trauma, so the experiences, so the limits of your nervous system also limit how big you can dream. So the things that become available to you, the new dreams, literally are beyond your imagination right now. So true. Each one of us has experienced, especially those of us who come to Cogno Conscious, that after what you are able to even consider for your life is so radically new and different. The things that we are considering now, even a year ago, were absolutely unequivocally impossible. And now we're like, oh yeah, obviously. So consider that at this moment, you don't even know what your imagination could do for you with the limitations you have today. So with this tool, you find the limitation, you will remove it, and you become more and more limitless. So we're going to bring Leah on, and she can share with you how to come to Cogno Conscious and the free amazing thing that we have for you that we have not released before. So Leah, would you share with us?
Sorry, I had to unmute myself. Hey everyone. So Yogi, I hope I'm saying that right, Yogi, commented in the chat, just being with a lot of people trying to discover themselves is itself very uplifting. So that is a really great way to start talking about Cogno Conscious. It is a group of people that are actively shifting, not just trying, but actively shifting their reality all together. So it not only helps you in raising your consciousness, but you're helping everybody in that room and the whole world. So if you're here, you are ready for Cognomovement. Everybody that finds us, they're always ready. They're always just ready for us. You are probably a person who's tried everything. Like, have you found yourself asking or saying, I have tried everything, and this is just another thing that I'm going to add to my list of things that I've tried. So I've heard it a lot. I am the one who answers all the emails and all the comments and all the phone calls. And that is something that I get a lot. But if you're here, you're ready to actively make that change. And so Cogno Conscious is a really great way to do that. This event, it's the only event of its kind. And today is the day we're actually announcing that we're doing it in October. Usually this is a once a year event, okay? Because it's really hard and it's very intense. And so we usually only do it once a year, but we had so many people asking if we could do a second event. So we're doing it in October. It's October 5th through 8th. I put in the chat here, actually I didn't, but now it's in the chat. I put in the chat the link to look at Cogno Conscious for yourself, but I'm just going to tell you a little bit more about it. So Cogno Conscious is not an event where you go and you learn the tool and you're really excited and then you go home and then 3 days later you're like, well, I'm back to my old stuff again. Cogno Conscious is a 4-day event where you're actively changing during those 4 days, and you're actively changing days, weeks, months afterwards as well. Your reality is going to be different when you leave. You've heard some of the stories at the beginning of how that happened for other people, and we have a lot of other stories where it's happened. The work is important. You're going to go through the Hawkins scale and clear out every level all the way up to love and enlightenment. So the Enlightenment Day is really cool. It's the last day and it's amazing, but the work is important. You're not only going to be doing the work for yourself, but you're going to be raising the vibration of the world. So if you're willing to let go of the 3rd dimension rules in order to live a 5th dimension life, Cogno Conscious is for you. But just so you know, it is, there are going to be some times where you need help. There are going to be some times where it's really intense and difficult, but when you get past it, it's so worth it. And especially up in those higher levels of consciousness, on those last 2 days, it's super worth it. It's really cool. It's going to be the hardest event you've been to. It's going to be the most fulfilling event that you've been to. So if you want to purchase your tickets, it's early bird pricing right now. The ticket prices do raise as we go through our tiers. So it's early bird pricing right now. You want to get your tickets today. But also we are going to give a new class to you if you purchase tickets today. And it's so new that I have notes about it because we are just about to release it. You're going to get it in about a month. You'll get it in your inbox once you purchase Cogno Conscious tickets. It is a brand new method that turbocharges your reality shifting. So you can see me reading. I'm telling you, this is new. It's brand new. Nobody's seen it. It's not for sale anywhere. So you're going to get this if you buy tickets today. So you're going to get, before Cogno Conscious event starts, you'll be able to start creating your limitless reality. So we like to do these classes before Cogno Conscious, because as cool as Cogno Conscious is, Bill and Liz love to give you guys bonuses. And this is a really great way to start and even start releasing those things before you come, so that when you come, you are going to get the most results possible, the best results possible. So again, the event is going to be October 5th through 8th. And you can go to cognomovement.com/Cogno Conscious to get tickets. And if you want a phone call today, private message me your phone number and I'll give you a phone call today and we can chat and I'll answer any questions that you have about Cogno Conscious.
All right. Thank you very much. So we would love to see you. Reach out to us at info@cognomovement.com if you have any questions, and continue to do the session. It'll be up for at least 48 hours on Cognomovement, the Facebook page, or YouTube at Cognomovement. Do it again and again and share with us what happens. And imagine if you were doing this 8 hours a day for 4 days. Also keep in mind that this was just one process that we do in Cognomovement, one of our most basics. At Cogno Conscious, you experience so many of the Cognomovement practices, processes, and new things that no one's ever seen before, and brand new things happen at Cogno Conscious. So we'd love to see you. Reach out to us and let us know what your experience of this session was, and what you'd like to change with Cogno Conscious coming up in October. It's October 1st through the